If you don't know how to do your makeup, keep watching because this is Makeup 101. I'm gonna teach you guys how to do your makeup step by step. Today we're starting with skin prep and your base. I'm not joking when I say that skin prep is crucial to your makeup routine. If you feel like your makeup is not going on smooth, it's getting all patchy on your face, you're probably not prepping your skin correctly. You need to moisturize your skin. It doesn't matter if it's oily, it needs to be moisturized if you want a smooth makeup application. There are times where I'm lazy and I don't moisturize before I do my makeup, and I regret it immediately because it looks horrible. So do not be afraid to moisturize. In my opinion, primer is kind of optional, and a lot of the time you can get away with not using one. But if you are going to be using a primer, this is where your skin type kind of comes in and just kind of the look that you're going for. If you have dry skin and you want something more glowy, go for a glowy primer. If you have oily skin and you want something more mattifying, go for a more mattifying, blurring primer. Personally, I love a glow, but sometimes I like a little blur too. So the Iconic London Underglow Blurring Primer is kind of like a mix of both. It's glowy but blurring at the same time. Don't know how they do it, but it's a great product. So that's what I'm going to be using. But your primer ultimately depends on what kind of look you're going for and again, your skin type. For your foundation / skin tint, it's going to depend on your skin type as well and what kind of look you're going for. There's full coverage matte foundations, there's full coverage glowy foundations, there's medium coverage glowy and matte foundation, and then there's light coverage skin tints with a more radiant finish or a more mattifying finish. There are a lot of options, so it really depends on you. But no matter what foundation or skin tint that you are using, the application and the technique is the most important. You always want to start with less product and then add more if needed, because most of the time you need way less than you think. I personally like to do this just to make sure that it gets spread all over. I like to use a brush because I find that it soaks up less product than a beauty blender. But the most important thing is that you are buffing the product in by just tapping it in like this. Do not rub the brush on your face. That's just gonna create streaks and it's gonna move the foundation around, and then you're just gonna have a mess on your face. So make sure that you are just lightly tapping it in. That's how you're going to ensure the most seamless application, and make sure that you're not putting the foundation directly underneath your eyes where your concealer will go, because then you're just going to end up with way too much product. Very important, make sure that you are blending underneath your neck as well, because you don't want to have that harsh foundation line. For concealer, you can get something more light coverage like the L'Oreal True Match. You can get something more medium coverage like the Haus Labs concealer, or you can get something very full coverage like the Hourglass concealer. Fully depends on you and your preferences. You want to make sure that you're not applying too much product, and you want to put it a little bit further away from your under eye and then blend it up instead of putting it directly as close as possible, if that makes sense. You can even do a little bit on the outer, and then you can add concealer anywhere else that you feel like you might need it. I like to do around my nose because I get a little bit of redness there. Always adding a little bit because you can always add more later if needed. And then you can go ahead and blend it out with a smaller concealer brush or a beauty blender if you'd like. I like to use brushes. And now is when you want to bring the product up closer to your eye. And again, we're tapping the product in, not sweeping. And that's it. Now you should have a flawless, seamless base. Very important to remember that makeup takes practice. I have been doing my own makeup almost every single day for years. And when I look at photos of when I first started, the difference is night and day. So just practice. Slowly, you'll start learning what works for you. And at the end of the day, have fun with it, because that's what makeup is. It's supposed to be fun. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you guys want a part 2 with the rest of the steps.